This country has a view of how this digital era that's going to exist for the next 2 decades will be 5 to 10 times what the information era that the U.S. capitalized on and President Clinton did so well. So you've got a leader I believe in, you've got a young population that I think can change the world.
They can, but will they? Because this country also, as you know,
yes,
is an entire history of potential and failure to deliver or execute.
Well, it's going to be an interesting bet, Richard. I'm going to come back on in 1 and 2 years with you, and I believe that in that time period you'll see India leapfrog its peers, and you'll see a country which is traditionally, to your point, one that was a slow follower become a very fast, innovative leader. And when you have a leadership that is able to pull it together, and he doesn't talk about making India separate than skill India, separate from startup India, separate from environmental India. He talks about how you bring it together with smart cities. He talks about how you re-educate the population. It'll add 1 to 3% growth to their GDP.
So what worries you about India in the sense of infrastructure? It's fine to have all these startups, to have these great companies, but if you can't execute it through the economy, and he's having difficulty doing that.
Well, first of all, you're trying to move the biggest democracy in the world, 1.3 billion people, and you've got to turn it like it's a PT boat. The key issues are you've got to build out broadband faster, you've got to knock down, make it an easier place to do business, you've got to remove the issues, for example, on Make in India in terms of the key issues on cost and parity and taxes. They're making very good progress on it all, Richard, so I'm going to bet on this country in a big way. Will there be setbacks along the way? Of course.
And on the U.S. presidential election, obviously a Republican that you are, how are you looking at the field, and are you concerned at what you're seeing yet?
I am concerned, but on an area that may surprise you. Every major country in the world, whether it's India on a digital India, whether it's France on a digital France, where Cisco's partnering with across the board with President Hollande, Cameron and his innovation in the UK, Merkel and her Industry 4.0, Renzi and how he's going to connect his country. We are the only major country in the world, with the exception of Japan, and I'm meeting with Abe next week on this topic, that does not have a national digital agenda. That needs to be the part of every single one of our candidates, and they aren't even talking about it. So I'm disappointed. There is no entitlement in this new race. We led in the information age. A Democrat, President Clinton, generated the information age in many ways for the U.S. 18% growth in GDP, 17% growth in real per capita income, 22.5 million jobs. We aren't even talking that.
Do you see the next 12 months as a sort of go nowhere, move sideways in the business world, as business waits to see who the next president is and therefore what policies will be introduced? In other words, tread water.
I think that would be a fatal mistake by businesses. Any company who doesn't change dramatically in the next 12 months, the game's over for them. It's a digital world. Every country, every city, every company, every person, those who tread water will get left behind, including countries. That's why I'm so bullish on India coming all the way around. Prime Minister Modi gets it. Will he make some mistakes along the way? Of course. But this is where the business community, the citizens of India, all the political parties should come together. India has the opportunity, and I would argue the obligation, to both change India and then help to change the world.